the first ever video on the Brave and Ranked Sports channel. I've branched out from my Guy Who Makes Everything Tier List channel, which is linked, all my channels, linked in the description down below. I'm not going to harp on them too much. This one, just about sports though, this channel, and our first video, what better than at the end of baseball season to talk about the MLB awards, specifically MVP, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year for both the American and National League. We're going to go ahead and rank them, take a look at who is the favorites right now, if they're going to keep that favorite, and if, there is somebody else waiting in the wing. With all that said, guys, let me know if there's something else you'd like to see video-wise. Comment section down below. You guys know where it is. Let's dive on in. All right, jumping in right here to the favorites for the MVP award. Paul Goldschmidt and Aaron Judge. That's it. There's no other contenders. They're going to win the awards. It would take an injury and an amazing, 2 weeks left out of any of these guys in long shots for them to overtake one of these guys for the awards. My rankings here, not based on just only my own opinion, but based on obviously stats, how they're doing, as well as Vegas odds right now for who is going to win. I'll be having everything I use down in the description below. But if you look at the comparison that we have here between Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, and Freddie Freeman, those are the top three for the National League. Goldschmidt just leading all of them in home runs with 35. Also contending with them for batting average, so he's beating Arenado in batting average. And losing to Freddie Freeman, but having a better on-base percentage than Freddie Freeman despite that. He does strike out more, but he also walks more. Stealing a little, steals aren't really going to play a factor, but 112 RBIs will, so really big there. If we go down to WAR, we can see that he has the highest WAR of any of these three guys. He has 7.7 this season. Very close, Nolan Arenado, 7.5 because of his awesome defense, 2.2 defense on Arenado. Goldie actually a bit of a detriment on the field with a negative WAR, and Freeman as well, negative WAR. But yeah, with all that in mind, still a positive WAR, 7.7, highest of the three, despite that negative defensive WAR. It's going to be Goldschmidt. I mean, what else do we got to say? It's going to be him. Lock it in. Aaron Judge up next. Everybody knows how Aaron Judge has been doing. Let's swap these awards out. Unless you've been living under a rock, that is, you probably know how he's been doing. 60 home runs as at the time of this recording, as well as leading the league or attempting to lead the league in RBIs with 128, as well as batting .315. He is in line for the Triple Crown. We'll see if he can secure it. 421 on base percentage. Absolutely ridiculous stats by Aaron Judge this season. Some people are saying it's one of the best offensive seasons of all time. That is ludicrous, and not in a good way. It is one of the best offensive seasons in the last 2 decades or so, but not best of all time. Have been much better seasons, have been guys batting 370 and whatnot. But at least in the modern era, 315, very, very good batting average, as well as those 60 home runs. About to set a Yankees franchise record. Should do, anyway. We'll see if he can do that. Shohei Ohtani has not been a slouch by any means in either. He's the only other American League player that could potentially win the award. 34 home runs, batting .271, which I believe is a higher mark than when he won the award before. He's on-base percentage .360, very, very good. We look down at WAR. Aaron Judge, 9.9 WAR, outstanding. Shohei Ohtani, only 3.6. Of course, I don't believe this takes into his... My cats are fighting. I don't believe this takes into account his pitching as well, as we can't see Ohtani's pitching. Obviously, we know Ohtani is a fantastic pitcher as well. Doing it on both sides of the ball is incredible, but just with what Aaron Judge has been able to do offensively, leading the Yankees into the postseason, and I kind of don't like that argument, right? Because if Aaron Judge was on the Angels, I'm not sure they would make the postseason either, but, I digress as an Angels fan. But, yeah, Judge is going to be winning this award, and I think that's just all there is to it. If we look back at our chart here, we're going to move on to Cy Young. On a side note, it took me a long time to figure out why I couldn't see any stats for Sandy Alcantara and the gang here, and I realized I had to sort by pitching stats, not batting stats. None of these guys have had an at-bat this year, obviously. So, yeah, that was an issue I had when making this video. Sandy Alcantara is the leader right now for the award, the favorite, but is not as far off as the the MVP awards are. Sandy Alcantara has a 2.37 ERA, over 200 innings pitched, only on the list with that many innings pitched. And despite that, Not giving up that many more runs than the other guys on the list. 188 strikeouts, also the most. Makes sense because he has pitched the most. He has 5 complete games, the only pitcher on this list to complete a single game this season, and he has 5 of them, including a shutout. Whip, 1.011 whip, so he is lacking on whip compared to the next 2 guys, Julio Urias and Zach Gallen, both of them also having some pretty good ERAs. But I do think Sandy Alcantara continues to lead this and continues to take it, barring an explosive start in a bad way, or a great couple starts by these guys. Max Fried is really a distant 4th here, but he does have a decent shot odds-wise of winning it. Not really decent. He could. There's a realm, there's a possibility where he wins it, but really it's going to be Sandy Alcantara and or Julio Urias. So I also love these ages here. Love seeing these young guys really producing at the Cy Young, for the Cy Young Award. That's really cool to see. Compared to the American League, we're going to look at it in a sec. But yeah, Sandy Alcantara, National League, Cy Young. Go ahead. I think we can probably lock that one in. Oh, I didn't pause. I gotta switch stuff. New channel or not, it wouldn't be brave in ranking anything without messing things up while trying to do everything in one take. Anyway, Justin Verlander here is the favorite right now. Despite being 39 years old, he has awoken from the dead. Not that he was ever really bad, but a 1.82 ERA, completely ahead of everybody in the American League. He has, let's see here, 167 strikeouts, which isn't that much in comparison. We can see he has a strikeout, still 9.02. How are his innings pitched? Less innings pitched, which is why. So we can look at Dylan Cease with an amazing strikeout, 11.3, striking out people like crazy. Shane McClanahan doing the same thing, 10.9. He was the favorite at the All-Star break. But really, Verlander, because of that pristine ERA, has been running away with this award, and I think probably will continue to do so, unless barring some type of horrible start by him. We don't have much left of the season, so Justin Verlander probably going to be the guy that we're looking at moving forward as the award winner, despite being almost 40. And just while we're here, I want to check WAR. Actually, a lower WAR than Dylan Cease. So interesting there, the strikeouts factoring in. So an argument could be made for Dylan Cease as well, and he's not far off with the odds. I also love that he and McClanahan competing for this award at such a young age, arguably before their prime. I think Cease is just kind of getting into that time period. But yeah, Verlander going to be the leader, probably going to keep it, but we will see with a little bit of the season left to go. American League Rookie of the Year next up. And there has been no other award to give me so much grief on social media than this award. Julio Rodriguez has been leading this award since the All-Star break, and right behind him has been Adley Rutschman. But notice that he's in long shot. That's because Julio Rodriguez is going to win this award. And it's not going to be Steve Kwan, and it's not going to be insert other people that have been yelling. Let's see, Bobby Witt. Who else have people been yelling at me for? Jose Miranda. Of course I would draw a blank now, but whether it's on TikTok or YouTube, I've been harassed saying that Julio Rodriguez is not going to win this award. Guys, he's going to win the award. And if you're watching this video, hopefully you realize that. But there are some people on TikTok who don't. He's batting .280 with 27 home runs. He has an on-base percentage of .342. He has a WAR of 5.7. Adley's great too. I mean, don't get me wrong. Adley's fantastic. 260 batting average. 12 home runs isn't that many, but he started the season a lot later. Fantastic defense at the catcher position. A 4.9 WAR in himself. Adley's great, but he's not going to win the award. It's going to be Julio, who was, I believe, the fastest player. It might have been in Mariners history, might have been in American League, not sure what it was, but to reach, 20 home runs or 2020? 25 stolen bases as well for Julio. So Julio going to be taking the American League Rookie of the Year award. And he's not that far off for the MVP either. I mean, he's not going to win it, but he is actually in the ranking. I think he's like 5th or 6th in the ranking for that award, interestingly enough. And then I don't have a stats page for Spencer Strider and Michael Harris, who are the 2 top contenders for the National League Award. It's basically pick your brave. Do you like the batting and the defense of Michael Harris? Do you like the pitching and the absolutely stud season that Spencer Strider has been having? I lean Strider, and I think a lot of people do lean Strider. But if you want to make an argument for Harris, I don't think you're like dumb. They're both fantastic players. Either of them winning the award would be great for the Braves, great for the player, obviously. And then the other one's going to be the runner-up. So there's not really anybody else in contention there. It's going to be one of the Braves. It's just whether you want the pitcher or the batter. So with that said, guys, these are the awards. These are who's going to win the MLB awards for MVP, Cy Young, and Rookie of the Year in a couple weeks here. Let me know if I left anything out, if I overlooked anybody, if I overlooked any particular stat that somebody is leading on. And let me know what you think of this format. If there's something you want to let me know, I've said it enough. Comments, you know where they are. Thank you guys for watching. First video out. We'll be back with more tier lists tomorrow, the next day, and every day, because we rank things all the time here on this channel, and well, the old channel too. I'm gonna sign out. Thank you guys for watching.